Estamos aquí en el hospital, White Memorial. Me siento mal. Tengo COVID. Mi pecho no puedo respirar bien. Estoy bien dolorido. I mean, what are the chances of me getting COVID? I've been taking care of myself, and this really kicked my ass.
What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe and lick off the bell. So, as you might have seen by the start of this video, your man's Oscar De La Hoya exposes a few of the scaries in boxing today. So let's start off with the first scary looking ass. Your man's Tyson Fury. Now, what do we know about Tyson Fury? Tyson Fury alleged Tyson Fury pulled out of the Deontay Wilder fight 10 days before, claiming C19. And he didn't post no evidence, not one picture from nowhere, not one picture of the test, not one picture of the app. I mean, in this day and age, the test results come on the app. He ain't even post a snapshot of that. And to add insult to injury, within a few days, your man's Tyson Fury was pictured in the club, Timmy 2 turned up, taking pictures all in the video, 100%. And then he was all in the car lot buying cars. That's where he was. Now, you people like the YB exposed this fact, and shortly afterwards, within 2 days, Tyson Fury had backtracked and said he was negative and one of them ones. But despite backtracking within 2 days, what he didn't do was say, you know what, I'm negative, I'm super duper fresh now, which is why I was in the club, so let's get the fight back on. Because he pulled out 10 days before, was negative and jumping around in the club 4 days later, so what's the problem? Crack on. No? In my opinion, if you're well enough to go to the club, you're well enough to be fighting 5 days later. Simple as that. Anyway, that was the first goofy we had. The second goofy, your man's Errol Spence, another one. Similarly, whatever that word is, yeah? In a similar way, Errol Spence, another 10-day announcement. 10 days before, your man's Errol Spence said I'm not sure what he said, because they didn't get their story straight. 1 minute it was a detached retina, 1 minute it was a retina tear, 1 minute it was he didn't know that he had it, next minute it was a sparring incident. Super messy. In fact, I've got another video coming on that soon. Some more. One of my sources in Errol Spence's camp has given me some more information, so make sure you keep locked for that. Anyway, back to this. Like I was saying, 10 days before Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao, your man's Errol Spence pulled out. We don't know what he had because his story was super duper messy, but he pulled out nonetheless. Now, given that Errol Spence had seen how bad Tyson Fury got it, that's why they didn't opt for the C19 route, because they know Tyson Fury got roasted 100%. So Errol Spence went for some other goofy option. He went for the eyes instead. And also, because of how Tyson Fury got done and how people demanded evidence, Errol Spence thought he was smart. He put one picture out. One picture. And over the next 10 days, so Errol Spence pulled out, he shows one picture, not in the hospital, not nowhere, just a random picture with some goofy thing on his eye, with a cup on his eye. And that was it. And then he went radio silent, and then he pled the fifth and lawyered up. When the YB's team reached out to contact Errol Spence for comment, he was lawyered up. Yeah, 100%, pleading the fifth, no doubt. Your man Errol Spence went missing for 2 weeks after the pullout. All we had was one scrummy picture, and he was refusing to comment on the situation. So that was the current status of boxers pulling out. Now, when I heard Oscar De La Hoya had pulled out, I can't lie to you, I was annoyed. I was annoyed because it just seemed, I don't know, it just seems a bit too, what's the word? Oh, what are the chances? All these fighters, yeah, they're all fine, and then a week before, I just don't get that. We've all been running around, yeah, for the last 2 years. You've had 2 years to get it. Oscar, yeah, has been retired for 10 years or whatever it is. But this C19 thing's been knocking around for 2 years. So you telling me Oscar De La Hoya, yeah, has been knocking around for 2 years just fine, and then boom, 1 week before he gets this convenient excuse. I was mad. I was sick of being mugged off. Sick of the lies. At least try and be somewhat inventive. That's why, even though Errol Spence was lying, I'll give him some credit. At least he tried to use his imagination a little bit. Unfortunately, he didn't stand no chance because he's coming up against someone 190 IQ in the YB. So, yeah, but we can't blame him for that. It's not his fault. His narrative was sloppy. It's not his fault. He 50 IQ and he got slayed. But I appreciate his effort. At least he gave us some effort. He tried to roll the dice. He got slapped anyway, but you know what I'm saying? 10 out of 10 for effort. This C19 thing's played out. Anyway, 2-2s. So when I heard about Oscar De La Hoya, I was big mad. Frustrated. Because I can't lie to you, I'm pretty looking forward to that fight, truth be known. I like Oscar. Ever since he beat Floyd officially, I've liked Oscar. Because of all the people who have fought Floyd, really, I'm not a historian on Floyd, but for me, of all the people who fought Floyd, Oscar was the only one who got stuck in. Didn't mess around, didn't sit at mid-range, just committed. Committed to the game plan and stuck in. Even Alvarez didn't get stuck in like Oscar De La Hoya did. Oscar De La Hoya was the only man who really roughed Floyd up. Roughed him up. Floyd didn't like it. And that's why, guess what? Your man's Floyd had to retire and duck the rematch clause. Oops. Anyway, the point is, I like Oscar. I was looking forward to him fighting, and then we get the C19 thing. But what do we know? Even though, I can't even now, I still find it, I just don't like this whole week before business. Fair enough. If you book a fight, yeah, and it happens in the first week, whatever, but I'm always, even if I see proof, I'm skeptical when things happen a week before. What are the chances of that? Nonetheless, guess what? Oscar De La Hoya come through. He done the most, basically, is what I'm saying. The fact he was there, posted up, in hospital bed. That's all we can ask for. What more could we really ask for? Yeah? He sounds bad. He puts a video out, not a picture. Anyone can put a picture out. He's got a video talking. His voice sounds all croaky. He looks rough. And he went out of his way to provide proper evidence. Boom. Who am I to criticise that? And that's why that right there was in it. I spoke to Oscar a few hours ago. He said, listen, YB, I see your videos exposing scary looking ass Errol Spence. I see your videos exposing Tyson Fury, and that's why I'm putting this one out. So them man know. Yeah? He knows how sick the fans are of these scary dudes lying so they can duck fights and run away from fights. So Oscar said, even though I'm old and washed, I'm going to set the precedent. And the crazy thing is, Oscar even said that he can't believe how scary Errol Spence is, because when Oscar De La Hoya was 40 years old, he fought Manny Pacquiao. Yeah? At the end of his career, Oscar fought Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence didn't dare fight Pacquiao at the start in his absolute prime. And that's why, another key reason, Oscar De La Hoya decided to punk Errol Spence with this proof. Because this video is a call out to say, listen, all you scaries that duck out of fights, show your evidence. Otherwise, don't pull out. Just for me, yeah, that should be the rule. The governing body should make a rule. If you pull out, you best have some evidence. Not one picture. Not go missing and turn up in the club, Tyson Fury style. Just evidence. Irrefutable evidence must be provided. Otherwise, you turn up. Otherwise, you get fined. That's how it should be. Because what we know is, oh man, YB, we can't fine the fighters. Well, the fans get fined. Oops. Yeah? When fans book flights and hotels and whatever and make plans, we don't get no reimbursement for being put out of our way. We're just told to suck it up and buy the next one. Isn't it? We're told to suck the loss up and buy the next ticket and buy the next pay-per-view. That's what we get. So why shouldn't these fighters be fined? That's how it should be. If you pull out and you ain't got no evidence, you get fined. Simple as that. That's how it should be from now on. You get fined the same way all the fans have been fined. How about that? And you see how quickly, number one, you see how quickly these dudes start showing evidence. But number two, most importantly, you'll see how quickly these scary asses stop pulling out of fights. Yeah? No doubt. But either way, listen. Respect to Oscar De La Hoya. He stay on Errol Spence and Tyson Fury's neck. Even at 50-year-old, he's still setting pace for these scary young bucks.